Okay, in question 2 we've got to rewrite the square root of 45 in the form a root 5, which means we need the answer to look like this. So basically our starting point is the square root of 45, and as you know from the chapter, we need to write 45 as a multiplication, and we want this to be a square number times some other number, so that when we split it out, here's the square root of the square number, here's the square root of the other number, but this first one here, okay, it's a square root of a square number, so that just becomes an ordinary number times the square root. And since we know that's going to be a square root of 5, that means this is going to be root 5, so the multiplication needs to be something times 5, and that should be a square number, and it's all going to be lovely. Then in part B, there's a trick for simplifying things like this. We know the answer has got to look like this, so when we get to the final answer, it'd like to be a number times another number times root 5. But the first thing we do is 2, we could multiply out 2 times 3 plus root 5 if you want to. At some stage you're going to need to multiply by that 2. But the first trick is to take the fraction as it's given and decide what bracket on the top and the bottom you're going to multiply by. And you've been shown, and look it up in your notes if you've forgotten, that if you've got a mixture of numbers and surds, or 2 different kinds of surds here, the thing to do is the same bracket but with one change in the middle. And whatever bracket you multiply by on the bottom, you multiply by the same bracket on the top. So you've got 2 multiplications out of brackets to do. I recommend you do them with grids. So you multiply the top by the top and the bottom by the bottom. Show you're working clearly for each. So say the top, I'm going to work that out. Say bottom, I'm going to work that out. Do a grid for each one and get an answer. And then once you've got an expression for the top and the bottom, you can write your answer as the top bit and the bottom bit, and the bottom bit should just be a whole number, and you should be able to divide through. B and C are integers, whole numbers, which means if you've done it right, the things on the top should be exactly divisible by this number you've got on the bottom. And you do that division to make sure your answer is a whole number B plus another whole number times the square root of 5, and then you're done.